Good afternoon. Today I'm going to show you how to make two little treat pockets using the Petite Pocket die. The first one is using the die as it comes, just like this. You just run it through your Big Shot with designer series paper. And this one is holding a candy cane, but if you want it to hold a gift card, that'll fit in there as well. And I'll show you some tips for getting the gift card to fit and slide easily in and out. On this one, I had assembled it kind of flat, and when I put the gift card in, it's a little bit snug, and they have to really kind of tug to get it out. So I'll show you what I did differently on this one, so they don't have to work so hard. So the first thing you're going to do is run it through the Big Shot, and that's going to use a cutting pad on the bottom. Your die, your paper is going to go on top, and then your premium crease pad is going to go on top of that. And you'll see little score lines here along the edges and two ends right here. We're not going to fold this one because I want that one to stay up. So you can just go ahead and fold it over like this, and then fold this one up. I like to use the Tombow multi-purpose adhesive. It's a thicker liquid glue. You have to kind of shake it down to the bottom if it's not a completely full one, just to make sure it gets down to the tip. And you're just going to squeeze it and kind of scratch it along the surface so you get kind of a thin line. It's not too thick. And then if you want it to hold a gift card, go ahead and lay your gift card in here. Fold this over. And just having that extra thickness in there will help it not to be too tight when you do this part here. So we're just going to fold this over, and I'm going to tug this up a little bit. And I'm not pressing it like completely flat. I'm letting it kind of puff up a little bit, just so that card can go in and out pretty easily. Now, this part here, you can use your bone folder, because you just want to kind of reinforce that glue for a couple of seconds until it's had a chance to dry. It doesn't take very long to dry, but just that kind of nice even pressure will help that along. So I'm going to tug this out, and I just want to make sure this is nice and flat here at the bottom too. There we go. And you can see it's kind of puffed up a little bit, so it's not completely flat, and that'll allow your gift card to go in and out. The other thing I did to decorate this is I used a strip of the same paper, just to add a little bit of a belly band, and I think this one is probably 3/4 of an inch wide by 5 1/4. And you can use your regular adhesive for that. Just a nice little strip. Flip this over. You can use your grid paper to line this up so your strip is nice and straight. And then you can place this down here. Flip it over. And then bring that over like this. And this one might be a little bit longer than what we need, so we'll just trim it. So line that up. And you can see how it goes all the way to here, and that'll show. So I'm going to cut it. So when we add our little greeting in the middle, that'll get covered up. And I used a stamp set called Occasions Alphabet, and there's a greeting for each letter of the alphabet. I'm going to use the letter M and the Real Red ink pad and some Scratch Very Vanilla cardstock. So these are the new ink pads that are the firm foam. So you're just going to tap tap and press firmly when you stamp on the paper and lift that up. This is going to fit perfectly with our large oval punch. Turn it over so you can line up the greeting, and just kind of take your time. I always have to turn it sideways towards me to make sure it's not crooked. I have a hard time lining these up if they're not straight up and down. So I always kind of look at it like that first and then punch it out. We're going to layer this to some Lucky Limeade cardstock, and that's going to be punched out with a scallop oval punch. And that's going to layer perfectly. So flip that over, a little bit of adhesive, and we're going to layer this to here. Add some dimensionals A couple of these guys should be good. And pull off the backing. And then this is going to go right here. So you can see that was pretty quick and easy. You can tuck in either your candy cane, a couple of chocolates would probably fit in there as well. Or if you prefer to give a gift card, that'll work too. Now I'll show you a different variation to make this little box, and it still uses the Petite Pocket die. What I did, I'm going to set this one down here so you can see what the die looks like when you cut it normal. And what you're going to end up doing, I used cardstock to make it a little bit sturdier. You're going to cut out part of it. So you want your cardstock to line up about a ½ inch past that score line, and then you're going to cut this part out. And you're going to do that a second time. This one lines up the same way, and again we went about a ½ inch past that score line, but once I die cut it, I just cut that one off so I have a flat surface. So what's going to happen is these are going to go up, and then this is going to get glued like that, and that's going to give you your box pocket. And I like to put the sticky strip on the part without the tab. So you're going to pull this off, and these go on the inside part, and then you're going to line these up. And I just line up right to the score line here, and then turn that over. And then this one you can actually hold up like this, but you do want to make sure you're getting it straight, so take your time and get that lined up to that edge. Okay, once that's stuck down, you can tuck in your bone folder and make that nice and stuck. And then here's your box bottom, and oh, I already pulled that off. So this will go down like that, and then this will come over like that. And then just make sure it's all nice and stuck. You just kind of hit it around with your bone folder. But you have a nice sturdy pocket, and it's a little wider, so you can put some chocolates that maybe are a little too chunky for the other one. Now I'll show you a trick for wrapping the paper around here to get a nice clean edge. So this is the Snow Festival Designer Series paper, and it worked out great because it's cut to 4 by 6 inches. So you can get 6 of these pieces out of one 12 by 12. So you're going to put your adhesive all along the back. And you're going to go to the front, and you're going to get this one somewhat centered. It's okay if this is a little bit longer than that end. You just want to make it kind of close to center. And so I'm trying to make sure these line up here. Then you're going to turn it over. You're going to use your bone folder, and you're going to press right up against the edge of that box, and you're going to do the same on the other side. This will give you a nice clean crease, and then you're going to kind of roll that over, and you're going to always check to make sure you're not getting a little crooked here, because sometimes when you start wrapping paper around something, it'll get a little wonky. So we're just going to get that stuck there, turn it over, and we're going to crease one more time. And then we're going to tug that just to make sure we're not getting crooked here. And you know, this is the back, so if it's not perfect, you're still good. Now, because this is going to be the last part that folds over and we're wrapping around a box, sometimes your paper wants to tug off, so I am going to put a little bit of sticky strip on that last side just to make sure nothing comes apart. So we're just going to put this here and trim that off. So now we've already creased it here with the bone folder, so we're just going to pull this up. Now I only, just so you notice, I put adhesive just along the edges. So if I'm putting it up here and I'm a little bit crooked, it's easier to tug off because I don't have the whole thing covered with adhesive. So we're going to move that around like this and give a little crease right along the edge of the box. Now this is the part where you want to make sure that you're not crooked, so give a little tug to get it to line up. Sometimes you have to do a little trimming. I got pretty lucky there. So once it's all stuck down, I just like to take the bone folder along all these edges, make sure they're nice and stuck. That sticky strip on that last little part is going to make sure it doesn't come undone as well. So you can see that that was pretty easy to wrap the box. Now I like this little liner, so what I did is I went back to my Petite Pocket die, and this time I cut just this part here. Now I don't like to measure it exactly from here to here. I like to give myself a little bit of wiggle room in case the paper shifts as it goes through the Big Shot. So you can see here, I've already trimmed it on this side. I just need to trim it. And it's better to trim a little bit inside that score line than outside, because you're not going to see any of this, and you don't want it to be too tight when it's going in. So just trim a little edge and go just inside that score line. And then you're going to cover this with adhesive. I'm putting a lot of adhesive at the top because I don't want any loose edges. So this just tucks in. And it's actually a little snug. I probably could have trimmed it a little closer, but I'm just lining up the top here to this. And then you can take your bone folder and just give that a nice little crease. Now this, I stamped the same as the other one, so I'm not going to do that again, but I did add some rhinestones here. What I want to show you is what's inside. So you do have your gift card, but this is wide enough that you can tuck in some of these chocolates, which are already decorated for the holidays. They have their little bows on the wrappers. And get that last one in. I probably should have done it like that. There we go. And so now when they pull this out, there's plenty of room in there. And they pull it out, they have chocolates and a gift card. I hope you enjoyed it.